5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 5 seconds.
Arc Warden.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
As always, with Team Random, the draft holds plenty of twists and turns, and this one is no different. A last pick Death Prophet Purge, and OG, the last pick Arc Warden. How you feeling about this draft?
It was pretty weird watching it progress, right? Like nobody's opening Vengeful Spear right now. That seemed kind of out of nowhere, but it maybe made some more sense with the Bat Rider pick. They grabbed the hero that counters the hero they're about to pick, and then the Wyvern, another weird pick. But finally with the DP, it made a lot of sense. Two heroes that can save somebody. They get some really good team fight potential. It's very similar to a Secret Draft, I believe, that we saw earlier. Wyvern with DP, because you combo so well with her. Keep her alive, let her ult do damage. But the part I really liked was Winter's Curse into silence. It's the most obvious silence ever. It's in some ways like 8 seconds to disable if they don't have silence solutions, and that's going to be the case for the first 15 minutes. So it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Absolutely. The last pick Arc Warden is something else that I want to talk about from OG, simply because I don't know how you feel about it, Purge, but I feel like OG, they're the only team who's really consistently picking up Arc Warden in these officials. I don't feel like it's really been tested. You know, like I don't feel like I've felt the Arc Warden truly proven to be a strong hero.
Yeah,
you know, like
I
that's
agree.
worthy the last pick.
Yeah, I think they're out of the 3 games that I watched him played, one of the games I was, okay, he's a good hero. But past that, he has some issues. It's pretty clear, I think. He's not very good at the laning stage. If he's losing, he seems very weak. If there's a team fight situation and he's not defensive in the back, he seems bad. But the thing he's very, very good at, which seems to be the reason teams pick him, is magnetic field. It's like, oh, they're pushing, I'll drop the magnetic field, drop my ulti, use another magnetic field. It makes it so hard for your opponents to actually close the game out. And for that reason, this is a really good pick against the Troll Warlord, against a Death Prophet. That's 2 heroes that do right-click based damage to kill a building.
Yeah, let's talk about that, right? The ghosts are not going to be hitting the tower unless Death Prophet's inside the bubble. Is that where we're presuming?
I do not know, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
we will find out.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say, it's a last pick Arc Warden against the Death Prophet. I feel like that's kind of what OG are going for here. After all, Wings are showing us, or excuse me, Team Random are showing us a very heavy mid-game push, and OG just want to prolong the game, presumably, right? Like, and that's what truly Arc Warden's good at. He's good at late game, and he's really good at just prolonging games and protecting high ground.
That's very interesting. Faith Beyond didn't go for the first wave. He's going to wait for the second one instead. But I guess there's a much better chance of not dying this way, because if they actually had like Flux or something and they spotted him, it would be a lot easier to get the kill. So the ideal would be do this pull. In the meantime, that prevents Fly from stacking. I don't know if he's going to react or not here. We'll see. But he may just attack twice and then go stack. Stacking is so much more important. So I kind of feel like Faith Beyond maybe should stick around and prevent the stack. But
yeah, I feel it's not very often that you get a chance to stack that easy camp. So Fly being able to get this one is big.
The 1 minute timing is like the most important time for supports in the game right now, because the camp, if you don't stack it there, it doesn't stack until 3 minutes. So it kills a lot of your ability to actually deal with the offlaner getting experience.
S4, 2 HP, Jesus. Poor man's shield doing its work. And he does have the back of the Tusk, so it looks like they're just going to go ahead and pop the Shrine. They've got a big wave pushing in. Both of these heroes would love to have their level 2. So with this wave pushing in, hopefully they'll be able to get it.
Great Ice Shards from Tusk as well to guarantee the creeps stay around. They'll give S4 guaranteed level 2. Surely will help a little, keeping him alive. And Fly doing his best to mess up Faith Beyond's life as well, just zoning, diving under the tower a bit.
And here comes the Drunken Haze spam. Shadow doesn't have anything to be able to deal with that, so that lessens the harassment onto S4, as well as his own CSing abilities.
Yeah, it's actually super value. I don't remember this being 25 mana, but 25 mana is almost nothing.
Yeah, it really is.
It only lasts for 4 seconds, which is probably why it got reduced, but certainly is going to be a great way to stop Shadow from getting every last hit.
Meanwhile, our mid lane, we do have Blink's Death Prophet facing up against Anna's Notorious Ember Spirit. We are getting into the first 2 levels difficult for the Ember Spirit because of the fact that Spirit Siphon can just so easily kill your Flame Guard. A little bit later on, though, 200 magic absorptions. Things should start getting a little bit easier for Anna, but how do you think the rest of this laning phase kind of pays out?
I think it's all based on the supports. The last time we saw it, the Death Prophet was actually pressured a lot, but they're going to do that here. They've got Orb of Venom as well.
Oh, they immediately back out as soon as they see that TPN from Ice. After all, he is level 2. They're not sure if he does have a level Cold Embrace. Fly's actually dropping a bit low here. They do have another nuke coming in, but the Crypt Swarm not going to be there in time to finish him off. That does leave Faith Beyond in a 1v1 at the top lane, though, so that rotation failing on the Death Prophet does offer a lot for Team Random in this laning phase. Batrider will certainly be one of the better offlane heroes to pressure a safe laner, but can Arc Warden really be pressured, even by a Batrider?
I think he absolutely can. I mean, I guess if you get Flux, there's no way that Batrider will be able to commit and get the kill, but at the very least, messing up the creep equilibrium. As a ranged hero with low armor, Arc Warden is actually very vulnerable to getting dived on under tower by creeps. So even if Batrider simply just pulls his creep waves to the side and makes No-Tail tank creeps under the tower, that could add up really fast. All comes down to the Midas timing, though. The faster he gets the Midas, the better. So maybe it'd be really good for Random to actually do some kind of early rotation with Vengeful Spirit and the Winter Wyvern, but that doesn't sound super likely to me. So maybe just play standard and let him get his full acceleration.
Winter Wyvern, Ice kind of chilling out here in the top lane. Looks like he's going to maybe push back the supports, see if they can get a hard camp pull, Fly. Not going to be able to intercept it, but the Tusk will. Another great use of the Ice Shards from Jerax.
That was so well done, and it guarantees that he gets the bounty rune, so denies the pull, which means that No-Tail's safe, which means that the supports also get the bounties. He's been using that skill really well for that purpose.
There is a, I would say, decent advantage to playing the Dire side Tusk. Being able to play this cliff area, Snowball actually has some decent range. I feel like your opportunities for initiation, Tusk Dire side against the Radiant mid is a lot better, but he's not going to be able to see a window here just yet.
And he can also get to the offlane a lot easier as well. Like if you're trying to roll into OG, you'd probably have to be on the left side. If you're on the right side, it's a much harder angle to hit, which would give you the offlane access. So yeah, I definitely agree. Dire side Tusk a little bit better. They're maybe hoping to get a kill here on S4, but it's going to be tough. Even if they do close the gap a bit, he will be able to slow attack speed with Thunderclap too.
Here comes the Drunken Haze, so all that right-click damage should be pretty ineffective.
70% mischance. Yeah, that's a lot. Keeps putting the slow on Shadow, but he's going to be pressured again.
Oh, and that miss percentage is going to wear out here, but they do have Jerax. So Team Random not feeling comfortable with it. There is a big opportunity for a heal bomb potentially from Fly. They're going to go wide. Snowball out. They're going to be able to finish him off. That's going to be your first blood, but they may just lose S4. Drunken Haze out. S4 still ends up going down. So it trades a support for a core, but it is OG picking up that coveted first blood.
I did not see when the first heal came out, but he did not have that one TP, and I was sitting there waiting for the damage. And also when the snowball broke as well, the heal was used when the heroes split up a little bit, so they didn't quite get the amazing trade they wanted, but that was still very good considering S4 looked quite dead.
And Faith Beyond is getting a lot of solo time here, and he's already got 1,000 gold in the bank with the boots, regular boots picked up. You said they might rotate in. They've already moved Ice up here once, and now they're actually going to have Y himself show up with a hard stun. They might just be able to catch No-Tail here. They got a couple of stacks of sticky napalm, get a stun. That's enough time for maybe the Firefly to close that distance before the Flux is used.
Arc Warden has a huge strength gain, though, and he's got 13 stick charges as well, so they're going to have to do a lot of damage. It's going to take a lot of Batrider standing on top of Arc Warden. Here they're going for it.
Oh, they're going to try. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, they do manage to catch Ice back over the top. No-Tail being run down, does use those charges, but it's not going to be enough. There is no TPs in. from the two supports of OG. They did make their rotation upwards and almost caught Y in the process, but an Ice Shards this time not quite locking it down.
The Wave of Terror just makes the right clicks do so much damage there, and despite using Flux and Spark Wraith, it's big overkill. The fast level 5 as well, the Flame Break does 4 burn duration with like 3 or 4 sticky napalm stacks. That's like 400 magic damage with 1 skill point. It's pretty insane.
Are we saying Faith Beyond, is you just like rushing towards the Blink Dagger, or what is this build that he's going?
I think he might as well, because he's got like the best start ever for a Batrider, right? It's way better than you normally expect, and with this double stack, he got pretty lucky too. Satyrs and 1 Centaur Camp only, these are all very vulnerable to magic damage, so yeah. I think he just rushes the Blink and makes the game happen, because on OG's side, despite the Arc Warden kill there, he's also maybe not going to get a fast Midas. He's actually going to finish Aquila first, so I think just set the tempo ahead. I think that's the better thing to do here. Oh, Jarek's perfect time to be here, though.
Collecting a lot of that experience. Is he going to step down to see if he can take some of that hard camp? Yeah. See if he uses the Ice Shards to be able to clean up some of the last hits here. They're all pretty low. Jarek's holding it for now. And Faith Beyond is going to get most of these last hits, it looks like. Now Y's going to be here. Jarek starts running himself away. Nice Ice Shards once again. He knew he was going to be caught by the sticky napalm slow.
That's entirely why he saved that skill. He didn't want a chance getting the last hit and getting chased down all the way.
Yeah.
A little greedy from him, but that was actually so amazing. He got a full level, and Batrider got 1 less level as well.
So it looks like the lane plays out pretty well for Death Prophet. Currently sitting at 51-13, bottom lane. They're going to go on S4 using the extra attack speed, but again, the Drunken Haze proves to be problematic when they go for this kill.
And he picks up a Magic Wand, so just simple Poor Man's Shield, Iron Talon, Brown Boots, Brewmaster. The hero doesn't need as many items as he did in the past. The big thing is level 10, fast mana regen perk. But his experience gain has been fantastic. I do agree that Death Prophet had a great lane, though. Certainly a good advantage against the Ember Spirit, hitting about 20 last hits more, and now he's going for a rotation. Treads, double null, and he's got a lot of good skills leveled up heavily.
And this looks good, because Ice is kind of baiting it right now. He's kind of showing like, oh, I'm just a support trying to slow down your push. But OG maybe caught. The Spark Wraith has already gone out, so it looks like OG do have the warning bells that his gank is coming, but they may not be fast enough. Unfortunately, the pushback from the Flame Break is going to increase the distance slightly, but they are going to catch up to No Tail eventually, maybe catch him out the Shell Grave, buys him a little bit of time, but it looks like Blink is going to be able to lock it down with the Spirit Siphon or not. Gets the TP out. OG, maybe they're going to lose S4 instead. S4 not quite level 6. They're going to go for a snowball save, pushing in deeper. S4 gets whatever damage he can, manage to finish off the Venture Spirit. Now that puts Blink low. They jump in, but there's the heal from the Winter Wyvern. And now that ultimate, it's going to be wearing out soon, but not soon enough. It looks like Anna is actually maybe going to go down. He does have a Remnant to jump to, but doesn't even have the mana to jump to it. So Team Random get 2 core kills out of that. Maybe they didn't go No Tail, but it was well worth the rotation from Team Random. Maybe a third. Jarex gets bumped back. There's a snowball over the creeps. Fly's going to have to save him with a heal, but there's a second Firefly out, and it's actually the nuke from Ice that finishes the kill.
So rather than going for the Blink Dagger, he just bought a really early drum, used 2 charges in that fight, but completely worth it for all those kills against OG. I think the Ember Spirit rotation was great as well, but they ran out of mana. If he had a Magic Wand, maybe that fight could have continued. Maybe they kill Death Prophet. Maybe they get another support kill and no one else dies, but really good pressure there from Team Random.
Yeah, I was kind of worried that and maybe we'll still see it, but the Ember Spirit's burst magic damage is going to be such a big threat for DP because they can't depend on that Winter Wyvern. But we're seeing, at least with the first start of these team fights, it's just not being enough. And the Death Prophet is able to just kind of persevere. And speaking of that, we are going to have a Yule Scepter picked up next, and you said that's going to be the way to deal with that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whenever the expected burst comes in, just throw yourself up in the air. That could be Snowball coming in, that could be a Brewmaster going for a Thunderclap into an ulti. There's a lot of things he can save himself from. OG's got to take slightly better fights in the next engagements, if possible. That one was very much a defensive thing. They saved the Arc Warden at least. That's huge.
Look at bottom. Faith Beyond is playing just outside of the vision for the most part. And as Troll starts pushing forward, though, he's backing away. Maybe he should have stuck around because there is a 4-man smoke cake coming out from OG. They want to catch this Troll nice and early, and it looks like they've got him. So slow down, double nukes. They do have TPs coming in from the Death Prophet, so maybe there can be an opportunity for a turnaround, or maybe it's just an extra kill. Blink, blown up almost. Ember Spirit tries to get the damage out. They finish him off. Random did not have the support in time. Now it's just going to be cleanup time. They're going to be able to get at least Y, if not more. Ice Ice does have the ultimate, though. Throws it on to Fly. Fly taking a lot of damage from the Brewmaster. It's going to be Y to finish him off with Magic Missile. Jarex, meanwhile, jumps forward. Manages to catch Ice Ice with a snowball. Knocks him up in the air with the Walrus Punch, but there is no follow-up from OG. They've already gotten enough kills out of this fight anyway.
And this is one of the better rotations I've ever seen from an Arc Warden. He doesn't have his Midas yet, but this hero actually does insane amounts of magic damage in the early game. Especially if he duplicates, he can drop Spark Wraiths for 280 damage every 4 seconds from his 2 sources, and even Flux by itself is good. 2 right clicks and on top of that. So just by finding the Death Prophet kill after the Troll, it opened up the game so much for OG. Like there's not good reaction to that if the Arc Warden is there. But I don't even think they saw him. He was kind of lagging in the back. He did throw down a Spark Wraith, but they weren't expecting that insane disable and that insane magic damage output.
All right, we have the rotation from random up top, then OG down to bottom. This time it's going to be random with a smoke gank into the enemy jungle here, and they're going to find No-Tail right in the perfect time. Look at it, he's 20 gold away. No-Tail's like, no, please, desperately, let me get at least a creep, but it's not going to happen. Loses the 200 gold. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Shadow's going to die again, so at least there is some sort of balance to this game of OG Wings. 7-7.
That Midas delay is very painful. And he fed his Tempest double as well. That's a lot of golden experience. I think it's like 180 right now. Does miss the flame break on S4. Playing around a little bit, but we'll see things go a little static here, I expect. Death Prophet surprisingly doing some aggro Ancients here. Kind of interesting, but I think it's because he used Exorcism on the Tempest double in the first place. So
yeah.
The Arc Warden, that is.
Might as well put some use to that ultimate.
So OG does get a tower out of this. So when you gank the jungle, it's kind of hard to turn it into a tower instantly. Random turned it into an Ancient Destruction because they were there already. But that's a tower advantage, which means now it's a little harder for Troll to farm. He's very good at jungling, though, especially with Vlad, so he'll be fine. But certainly it'll be easier for OG to find the right places to gank, and maybe a bit more obvious when Random isn't in aggressive position or sitting in their lanes.
And it also means our Blink Dagger is going to be coming in pretty soon for S4. He's currently trying to beat out Faith Beyond's Blink Dagger, which is what he's going after, the Drums of Endurance. Both sitting at a similar amount of gold here. OG checking out the Roshan pit, making sure they heard the Troll ultimate. They wanted to make sure he wasn't actually sneaking inside the pit. That is one of the dangers, right? There's a lot of comparisons to be made between Troll and Ursa. And obviously, the biggest comparison is they're both able to do Roshan very early on.
Yeah, especially with Avenge on the backside with a medallion. He doesn't have it yet, but or somebody has a Q.
Wyvern.
Wyvern? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's finished already? That's really early. So if they ever do win a team fight against OG, that's probably where they're going to go right after. With that said, though, OG does have another Arcane Rune on Ember Sphere. This is one of the best things you can have in the early game, just because he has some mana problems, and lowering the recharge of Fire Remnants and Searing Chains and all that stuff is really effective. And that's who they're going to go in on.
Snowball out. Blink definitely has the protection there. What a beautiful Winter's Curse onto Jarex. Is going to set all this up. So they're going to finish off Jarex. Doesn't look like they had the opportunity to push for more, but a free pickoff there for Team Random. And more time for Shadow to push out top, though he's actually backing away from that. Perhaps afraid of a rotation from OG.
Winter's Curse has been really effective this game. I've never seen so many impactful Winter's Curses the first 15 minutes, but they've been very well used. Medallion making that better as well. Throw it on the guy that's getting it auto-attacked, and he'll die faster. Interesting choice. Oh, he's going Necro 3 build on Arc Warden. I haven't seen this in so long. It's a lot worse than it was originally. When Arc Warden first came out, you'd make a Tempest double, he'd get Necro 3 whenever he summons. Each Arc Warden Tempest double would have its own cooldowns, but now it's based on the same for each Tempest double. So spawn your Tempest double, he gets a Midas, it's not off cooldown 60 seconds later. You still have to wait the full 100. So Necro's scene is worse right now. So I'm excited to see if No-Tail can make something amazing happen. He also went Arcane Boots, which is a bit interesting, but considering that it's technically 2, this could really help his team get a lot more mana and himself.
Do you think it's because of the read? Like, Team Random have a very 5-man focused lineup, right? Bat Rider seeks out the extra pickoff. They have the Death Prophet team fight ultimate that they want to base themselves around, and Troll is going to be able to help push down those towers. It seems like there is going to be a lot of opportunities for split pushing. Faith Beyond currently scouting here. He's going to jump forward. Will manage to grab Fly. That's a big one if they can actually finish him off. Meanwhile, the Brewmaster initiation comes out, unable to get the silence fast enough, but they do have to swap out to be able to buy Blink some time, and his ultimate is doing a lot of work. OG are low on all sides. Fly even the back, almost taken out. They do have another great Winter's Curse, but a shallow grave will manage to save Jarex just in time. Big jump in from Ana. Tries to get the burst damage, but now he's silenced up, and he's just going to die to Shadow. Jarex jumps forward, trying to finish off Blink, but it's not quite enough. Blink with the Gold Scepter is able to defend himself. Now it's going to be Fly. Food for fodder as Shadow managed to pick up another kill. Looks for the wipe as No Tail is going to be the final man down of OG, and Team Random take a big fight in the mid lane, trading 1 for 5. Gonna take that mid tower, and who knows what else from there.
Amazing fight for Team Random. OG felt they had some moments where they could go in, and they kept getting heroes really low, but it's so dangerous for them actually to commit to those sometimes. And this is almost for sure going to guarantee... No, never mind. They're all alive. It'll be fine. But taking the tier 1 tower there is huge, and OG getting a little too overconfident on the Venge kills a few times there.
Another bad team fight like that, or even a pick-off, is actually going to lead into any kind of Roche opportunity.
No, the opening was so good, but the swap absolutely helped save the DP. She's still doing tons of damage in the backline. The Fire Panda goes down. They really wanted to kill Innocence, and great Winter's Curse, but an amazing Grave in response. But at this point, OG is all playing with low HP. It's way too dangerous here. No
Tempted catch here, but Ice Eyes just ahead of the Ice Shards. And he had Arctic Burn up anyway, so he could have just flown right over that one.
With the OG lineup, they're definitely going to run into some big damage issues pretty soon here. I think the reason he's going Necro 3s is because of the large one. If it gets blown up, it does a lot of pure damage. And that's going to be a really good counter, actually, against the Death Prophet, because she can't stop her little bats from attacking.
We have a 4-man smoke up. Catches S4. Easy kill on the Brewmaster. And this pickoff could lead to more, actually. Why? Might be able to find Fly here.
They're
going to chase him down underneath the tower, surely. Yep. There goes swap back. Gets out the weave, but it is a death weave for Fly, and a tier 1 tower down once again.
I feel like if OG was able to win that team fight in the mid that they lost previously, this whole game would have been changed. But Random is just rolling over OG at the moment, and they don't have very good heroes for stopping that. They don't have like they're basically their melee frontliner that's supposed to jump in, be survivable, and keep messing with them is Brewmaster. And outside of that, they don't have much. And Ember Spirit, I don't think is going to be that hero this game either. Troll is really scary. They have to worry about Batrider last, so they have to worry about Venge, Stun Swap, and of course the big damage output. It's Death Prophet. So I think this last pick, Death Prophet, was really good for this lineup. It's hard to kill him. He's got backup, and he does so much damage.
Boy, they're actually getting a ton of farm on Ice Ice. He got that early medallion. Because of the kills offered to him from Winter's Curse, he's going to have a Blink Dagger pretty soon. He's about 1,000 gold away from that one. And that'll mean even better initiation for Team Random. Initially, they're just playing completely off of the Batrider, but now we could have excellent initiation from the Winter Wyvern as well. As you said, that all sets up into the Death Prophet Silence. And right now, and probably in the future, there's not going to be too many ways that OG can deal with that. We need to have like Yule Scepters on Brewmaster and Ember Spirit just to be able to deal with that one silence.
Yeah. Even killing Death Prophet looks tough right now. Very efficient item build. He's just going all for survivability. Even grabs the magic resistance perk at 10. Most likely will pass up the hood that we've seen some other players grab. But between like Yule's Solar Crest and just generally high HP, it's hard for OG to kill this guy.
At 12% magic resistance plus the Solar Crest. I love that.
Plus healing.
Yeah, I love that Solar Crest has just become like a nice efficient stat item. Yeah, who necessarily needs to be using it?
It's actually pretty disgusting. It's only 2,600 gold, considering it gives you 12 armor and 25% evasion. And if he really wants to use this aggressively, it's great. Works very well with Exorcism, Amplify.
Okay, so OG, whenever I've seen these kind of like split push lineups too many times, we see like, for example, their Naga Sirens. They love to be able to try and make a team fight happen 12, 15 minutes before they get into their full split push category. This time around, they tried it. It failed pretty badly. Surely this is when OG bounces back and just tries to play a split push game against Team Random's 5-man.
I think it's possible. They can kind of still take fights, but yeah, 5 versus 5 is really terrifying right now. So commit to the split push if you can.
That is going to be Ember Spirit managing to jump away. They didn't get a bash from the Troll. So Ana, being the lucky man, will get back to his shrine, heal up, and OG.
So maybe one of the big losses here is that they don't have good disable follow-up from the lasso. It's basically Venge Stun or Troll Bash or the bigger, easier one is probably Death Prophet Silence, at least right now. But she did offer Treads this game. Boots of Travel would have been amazing for this kind of setup situation, but wasn't able to get in there fast enough. So those kind of losses are actually huge. That's maybe a big lacking here to Random. I felt like they're going to be able to deal with the split push well, but if they don't have the lockdown, Ember Spirit hitting buildings is definitely the safest way.
Yeah, and then once you start having successful split pushing from OG, especially now that we have the Necronomicon, you start forcing Team Random to split up a little bit more. That's when the team fights can really come to the favor of OG, right? Instead of split, occasionally they could just like boom, group up and hit Team Random hard. So Random, even though they had an incredible start, still have a lot of issues to address as we start hitting into the mid game. Plenty of opportunities for OG to make the comeback if Team Random aren't careful.
And they're going to play. He's just summoning a lot of Necros. He's just trying to increase his farm speed with these. They're definitely good at that, but it's still a pretty big cooldown. Approaching Necro 2, Necro 3. So what is the magic damage? It's okay, it does magic actually on Necro. I forgot it's not pure anymore. So it does 800 magic damage when it dies, which means that Death Prophet actually does have good solutions against it. He can just build maybe a Pipe Blader, or a BKB would also stop it if I'm not mistaken. Unless it is coded to go through. I think they'll die. Can't check. Check later.
Roshan attempt here from Shadow. No Tail spotting it out with his Tempest double. It's going to die, though, and that really kills the team fight power of OG. Seems pretty clear to Team Random. They know OG can't actually fight this one, so Fate Beyond. He gets out there, manages to find the pickoff onto No Tail. A big kill, because we talked about how that magnetic field, that bubble, stops a lot of these pushes. No Tail's got to be option number one to be able to kill the high ground defense or kill the defense to these tier 2s and push objectives.
Man, that was a big pickoff. No Tail making a large mistake with the Bat Rider grabbing him. And he's not going to be mobile this game. He's not going to have invisibility. I mean, Necro's very, very cool on paper. Maybe it was the right choice this game, but I can't help but think that he just started off a little too slow. The delay of the Midas cost so much, and maybe the support should have spent more time there. But with that said, this is a tier 3 tower taking damage.
Yeah,
what the heck?
Team Random didn't address that one very quickly. Already down to half HP. That was, I feel like that wasn't actually fully worth it, tier 2 tower, because you know the split push is already going to be a problem from OG. So you can't afford to have some of your fortifications like that already being, dropped down this low.
Yeah, completely agree. It's still more map control, but considering your opponents are going to have more boots of travel than you, I don't know. Maybe it's tough. Tough to deal with that. If that tower does go down, that would be insane. I mean, they haven't even lost the mid tower. The tier 3 has taken more than the mid tower has almost. Very close.
All right, we got a gem. I really like this pickup. An early gem from Team Random will make because they do have the potential catch, right?
Yeah.
With this Bat Rider against some of these heroes. So we do have the potential for Team Random to punish some of these split pushers, particularly the Ember Spirit. All they have to do is just kill a lot of the aggressive vision of OG. So that early gem is going to play off some pretty big dividends, I assume. OG did try and look like they were trying to go for some sort of smoke rotation, maybe pick off at mid that allows them to take that tier 1 tower. While Anna continues his march into the tier 3.
Pushing pretty fast despite his items. Just Maelstrom alone is going to get creeps up on the high ground to do more damage. And
more chip. Random, they seem like really focused on making sure a bad team fight doesn't happen, staying 5-man quite a lot, which is opening up these huge opportunities for Anna.
Trying to keep the Tempest double alive while he split pushes, and great even more tower damage here.
Oh, he doesn't get the gold for it either.
Very close. So Shadow pressuring the tier 2 still. This should still fall. No way they defend this, but they are inching their way towards shrine kills even before Random can think about it. With that said, even if they do get the tier 3, I do feel like Random's getting pretty close to just going high ground. But the issue is going to be pushing the lanes out first and then having an opportunity to do that. And there's a long, long time until Roche is ready. So maybe Random can, in this time period, utilize the Aegis.
Yeah, this definitely says to me like the way the team, this wasn't a mistake, right? Like it's not like they made the same mistake 2 times in a row, right? So it's very clear Team Random are doing this on purpose. They really want to make sure they stick together, they don't have a bad team fight, and will go ahead and concede a little bit of tier 3 damage whenever they're going through these tier 2 pushes. That for me says Team Random are much more focused on, hey, we're going to end the game soon. We're going to go for that high ground. This game's going to reach a crescendo real fast where Team Random either successfully push high ground, in which case the tier 3 going down doesn't matter, or they stall out. OG take that tier 3, they unlock shrines, and we can play this, this harder rat game that Team Random may never be able to come back from. Looks like a pickoff on Jarex here. He's been playing pretty aggressive with that haste rune, and will meet an unfortunate fate.
Shadow with the Shadow Blade, picked up, instantly gets the kill. And I really like this item choice because it's going to allow him to counter the split push and, more importantly, help get his own solo kills as the game continues, just because OG is always going to be split pushing. If they always have to worry about trolls showing up and doing a crapload of physical damage any second, then they're going to be a lot less willing to push the lanes out aggressively and make sure that Random can't go high ground.
Yeah, even Ember Spirit, when he picks up his Lincolns, right, he's like, oh, I dealt with the Bat Rider a bit now, right? Yep. But Troll, who knows? Maybe he Shadow Blades onto you, gets a first hit, or maybe even a second hit bash. That's enough to lock you down long enough to kill you from 100 to 0.
And Ember still doesn't have silence solutions, too. The Lincolns will stop Lasso and Winter's Curse and Swap, but if they maybe do, I guess they can't do Yules into silence at least, because that would be blocked, but if the DP is just in the area as the Troll shows up, silence and right clicks, that's all it'll take, and it will go down.
Oh, look at this Shadow Blade Shadow. He's on it.
He knew.
He's going to find Andy. Is he going to be able to get that bash? First hit, second hit. No luck. No love.
Still had his Remnant up from before. But he choreographed that TP, and as a result, Anna's farm decreases a little bit.
We are really seeing Team Random do an excellent job controlling the map now. Now that they have that additional threat for Ember Spirit with that Shadow Blade revealed.
Yeah.
Oh, Faith Beyond actually completes that Boots of Travel, goes for no tail, pulls him right back in, and they're going to try and blow him up. Nice use of the Winter's Curse to be able to prevent the Shallow Grave. Now they'll go ahead and turn their attention towards Fly. He used the Shallow Grave, goes for a TP, but it will not work. So, nice fast play there from Team Random. Control the map. They're actually going to go for mid here real quickly. Anna actually controls him up. Shadow in some trouble, but Y's going to be able to bail him out. Swap back. Enough time for Shadow to be able to use the BKB, so he mans up against S4, forcing out the ultimate. BKB is going to wear out soon. S4 thinking of following him out, at least with some of the damage pandas. He's going to make the stone form, the Earth Panda, run himself away. Random are going to try and catch up with it, though. 5 seconds till he drops.
He's got to get the blink off. It's the only way.
The Firefly's going to be on top of him. If he's not careful, here comes the blink. Oh, no, there's too much damage over the place. Y uses Wave of Terror as well as Shadow blinking in and manage to get that Whirling Axes at the same time.
Yeah, I don't even know if S4 is expecting to get caught there, because the Invis Troll or jumping out with the Whirling Axes, as soon as you appear there, you're going to get hit by those things. Unless it bugs. It does that sometimes, but ends up getting another kill against OG, and it just feels like they have very little way to control the map now. All it took was a Shadow Blade and a little bit of careful movement prediction where their opponents are going to be, and the farm levels just drop off pretty drastically.
We're probably still going to reach that, that high ground push that's coming in, but maybe we're a little bit wrong in that analysis earlier where, like, Team Random, they actually were kind of sacrificing that tier 3, but now they're controlling the map so much that that sliver of HP that the tier 3 has, it's not even, like, they're just not getting up any of the side lane momentum, right? It's always being countered now. Now that Team Random have some of those items. Nice, breaking the Lincolns. Now jump in with the lasso and the damage coming out from Shadow. They'll make short work of the Ember Spirit, and now this is their opening. In fact, No Tail, ooh, thank goodness that Shards was there from Jarex. Otherwise, No Tail could have been caught as well.
That's so bad to be this far behind on Ember when Bat has a Force Staff at the same time you finish your Lincolns.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter if you have that. This guy's going to check your items. He's going to know what you're building anyways. And they just instantly counter him.
They still have the swap back of the Vengeful Spirit too, so this 40-second window that Team Random have, a lot can be done, a lot can be forced in it. Blink, immediately put himself inside the medic field. Another one goes out from No Tail.
The bats are hitting.
Oh, it is.
They're
those bats don't give a damn about a bubble.
I'm a little, I don't know how it's coded, but it works. So even if OG was doing better, maybe it's still countered.
Tier 3 going to drop fast. They're immediately going to go for the melee racks. They still got 10 more seconds. Anna down, unable to fight, and this should mean, or maybe not, Team Random are going to respect it.
All right, that one's working. It's just placement based, I think. It has to be, because when the bats go into melee, they're like a short range melee creature, I'm assuming. So if you place it a little bit too close, it needs to be over the circle of the barracks, which might be the very center point, but you can't put it any farther out, because then the bat will be inside the bubble when it attacks.
Yeah, when it swoops in to grab that tower, then it actually gets inside that bubble. That's
Who knew?
Interesting.
I think that's how it works. I'm not 100%, but that's what it looked like. So S4 is going to try to get a good initiation here with Brewmaster. They need to catch
Shadow
somebody.
is going to pop that smoke from OG.
The nighttime smoke is so hard to make it effective because of moments like that. He just assumed that there was a hero. He just couldn't see him.
And we're actually going to be getting an Orchid Bloodthorn for Troll Warlord. So that'll be another potential way for him to be able to catch the Ember Spirit, perhaps.
Or any other hero. Actually, it's probably the Brewmaster. He
Yeah,
finds Brewmaster
that's actually a
solo,
good point.
easiest kill ever.
Anna, get the disable onto Blink. They'll Ice Shard him as well, but Blink is not too scared of a fight right now. Tries to loop himself away. Does have some additional help from Random. If they really commit to this one, Ice can intercept. They're going to pop that ultimate from S4. There goes the Cold Embrace. Healing Blink up, but they are going to have immediate follow-up damage. There goes the swap. Snowball back the line. Jarex is in deep. It's going to be Y giving up his life for that one. Winter's Curse on to Anna. It's going to stall him up, but he's inside the magnetic field with no allies around. Shadow is dealing with these nasty Brewlings at the same time, while Blink is being healed up from the Cold Embrace once again. They try and jump onto him. Snowball, nice use of the Force Staff there, but they slow him down. Ice Shard's blocking in some of these heroes as well. As 4 jumps in, they get silenced, but they're actually winning this fight. OG slowly but surely are winning this out, unless Shadow, if they can actually kill
No
No-Tail here.
way.
No-Tail slow. Shadow Grave, and he's going to be able to get out. Yes, he is. He completes the TP. Shadow doesn't get a bash again. Never lucky, but Team Random are still going to run over Anna, looks like. They'll get that kill as well as the Tusk.
I can't even believe they only lost 2 heroes there.
I know.
The amount of time that they kept Death Prophet alive was insane. Winter Wyvern also managed to, at the very start of the fight, not only Cold Embrace the Death Prophet, but also blink dodge the initial boulder from S4. I thought for sure S4 was going to be able to keep Ice out of the fight, but he didn't at all. It almost felt like the Brewmaster ulti did nothing, but if he gets a Cyclone off on the Winter Wyvern, the whole fight changes. Because he was able to heal like 24% of Death Prophet's HP 3 times in that. That's like a cheese practically. And if that guy's that hard to kill with only 2,000 HP, it's only going to get worse when he finishes Octarine and maybe a tanky item afterwards.
An Aegis for the Troll Warlord. You're looking at him, and it's hard to see how exactly OG are going to be able to stop him if he just goes BKB high ground and starts hitting on a building. So for me, that kind of says OG have to find a way to force the fight outside of the base.
Yeah, which is exactly what they tried to do there. They were just a little too low on the damage. Incredible that they weren't able to manage it there, but it's going to get even harder with them. With Team Random winning that fight, they're going to get more farm, they're going to get more items, and OG's got to get a way to kill opponents soon. Mjolnir's going to be the pickup for Arc Warden. Maybe that'll work well because they'll do a lot of magic damage that jumps through the Cold Embrace, but I'm not even sure. He's really fast right now too. Picks up the plus 50 movement speed perk on Death Prophet. He's running at 445 movement speed at all times.
That'll be a nice way to be able to deal with some of these. They got a lot of slows on the side of OG, and as well as that chase down of the snowballs. So it feels like movement speed is actually going to be really effective for this game.
They're definitely having lockdown problems.
Top lane push is coming in fast. OG are trying to push out the bottom lane as much as possible in order to force Team Random back, but it's just not going to happen. Team Random are forcing it at the top lane. They're going to be able to take this full lane, it looks like, as OG are unable to fight in time. Not even being able to threaten the bottom lane. Team Random just set that up too well.
They feel so far ahead. Batrider just goes back, doesn't care. I'll just kill these 2 Necro 3s for 400 gold while my team gets the racks. They're just so far ahead right now. It's kind of the same story as the first game. The last pick really was the right solution. Their opponents didn't have a great pick to deal with it, and it kind of dealt with what the other team wanted to do in the first place. Last game it was the Enigma. This game, very much so the Death Prophet. It fit into the draft so well.
And if Blink gets BKB, then they're going to have 2 cores that are just going to ignore everything that OG are doing because they really don't have much of a source of physical damage. Arc Warden eventually turns into a right-clicker, but for now, he's just got Necronomicon and Maelstrom, so he really doesn't do all that much. Ember Spirit is obviously primarily magic damage at this point in time. Brewmaster, he's the only source of any pittance of physical damage on the side of OG, so these BKBs are just going to overwhelm the Dream Green.
And most of these guys just have medallions and solar crests anyways. I don't even feel like physical's the solution. There's not a lot of solutions here. Troll Warlord even going heavy into tank. He's not getting damage skills. He's just going armor, health, agility. Maybe he even grabs magic resistance.
I was thinking about that. Why not?
Like, 20% is pretty big when you're running around with about 3.5k health late game. It can really pay off.
2 minutes for the Aegis. Team Random. Side lanes have been dealt with. A top lane push doesn't really matter because the tier 2 is still up there. Faithbeyond looking for his opening.
See if he summons a Necro before his little Arc Warden dies. He does.
Pops it.
Ooh.
There he goes. Finds No-Tail on the back lines. That's going to be a big one. Fly sitting on the side. He's going to have to get the Shallow Grave off in time. No-Tail does get saved for the time being, but will it really matter? They still have the damage out. The Winter's Curse is even going to hold these heroes in place. So as soon as that wears out, No-Tail immediately dies, as well as Jarex in the back line. S4's Pandas are almost dead. He's going to try and get away with the Earth Panda. Looks like Team Random are actually fully focusing on finishing him off. So 3 members of OG down, a 4th potentially in trouble. Anna jumps back to the base. Doesn't have too many remnants to work with now.
These Necros are just not making the difference in these team fights. If anything, they're helping Team Random because of the Winter's Curse. Maybe a big error there.
Shadowman's up, has the Aegis still. Wants to be able to put some sort of use to it, so they take it to tier 3 tower, and it's actually a big cop of the silence. He's been orced up, that Lincoln's broken through. They use the Shallow Grave to be able to protect him. Looks for the Remnant out, he's so low. Can they get any damage out? Jumps over the Remnant, does manage to get himself away. No-Tail back up in 10 seconds. Our Team Random going to continue this fight for round 2. Looks like they are. They're going to go for this melee Rax. And this means OG really have to force this one and actually get something in it. Shadow, they're going to go for him, try and take out that Aegis without any full real commitment. Y jumps pretty below. Maybe No-Tail can finish him off, but as Shadow comes back, he pops the BKB, finishes off that melee Rax, and on the way out, a full retreat. And OG don't have too much catch. The Ice Shards misses, and Shadow will continue his run back to the base.
He is so fast, too. Even if they had detection, I don't know if they were going to kill him. Man, OG really just on the back foot this game. It feels like they can't do anything about the first lasso that comes out other than a Grave, but Grave is not the solution they need anymore. They've lost so much advantage ever since they started losing fights in the mid game.
And because of this, it seems like Team Random are so like the way they chased down S4's Panda.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, whatever. Like, yeah, do we really need to use this exorcism to finish off the mid lane of Rax, or can we just kill heroes and control the game? Absolutely. After all, they're not dropping off anytime soon. They just picked up some of their, we've had the troll BKB for a little while, but we have this fresh BKB from Blink, so they've still had a significant... Oh, look at that. Jesus Christ. Poor S4. That's not pretty.
He lost his passive, and he was getting Bloodthorn crit, just automatically.
Oh, they need this kill. They need this real badly. OG, they're going to try and go on a Blink here, but the Winter's Curse turn around, and it's actually dropping pretty low here from just the damage from No-Tail's Tempest double, and Blink is able to finish him off towards the end. So, Team Random now well set up to force the bottom lane out. Jarex is going to just do whatever he can to actually stop the creep wave.
And Shadow's split pushing, taking Rax. It's got the range barracks, going to go for the 3rd set right now, all while things are busy. Jarex is no TP. He's basically 1v3 right now. Tower's dead.
Courier, pick up that extra just before finishing up the Rax. He actually sees the real No-Tail here, wants to be able to finish him off. Doesn't have any vision, though, to be able to see him, so he turns his attention back to that melee Rax, which is rapidly falling. Now Blink comes in big, is able to get a silence. Now the follow-up lasso. Refresher, he's going to get Fly as well. Faithbeyond, a little bit of style as we finish off this game number 2. OG call it. Just like that, the series been evened up. Who said Team Random was out of here? They look like they're coming back, man.
They had the very, very tough group stage. A lot of 1-2s, 2-1s. And they're taking it to game 3 again. I mean, that game was just, honestly, the outdraft seemed very clear to me.